After the guns of World War I fell silent, the world spoke of freedom and self-determination. But for Africa, there was no freedom, only tighter colonial chains. In 1919, in Paris, the first Pan-African Congress after the war was held. Led by W.E.B. Du Bois and allies, it called for African peoples to govern themselves, for forced labor to end, and for racism to be confronted. Though the world powers ignored them, their voices planted seeds of liberation. Despite being ignored in 1919, Pan-African leaders refused to be silenced. In 1921, in London, Brussels, and Paris, the Congresses grew louder, demanding land rights, political representation, and dignity for African people. New voices joined. Leaders from the Caribbean, Africa, and America, all united in the dream of freedom. By 1927, in New York, the Pan-African movement became truly international. The world still turned away, but Pan-Africanism was becoming unstoppable. After years of silence during World War II, the Pan-African spirit roared back in 1945 at the Manchester Congress. This time, the movement was no longer led by a few intellectuals. It was powered by workers, trade unionists, and students who had lived the pain of colonial rule. Future African leaders like Kwame Nkrumah and Jomo Kenyatta stood up, declaring that independence was not a dream, but a demand. The resolutions were clear: colonialism must end. And from Manchester, the final march toward freedom began. The Manchester Congress ignited a fire that could not be put out. Delegates returned home carrying more than resolutions. They carried a vision of freedom. Across Africa and the Caribbean, nationalist movements swelled. Newspapers spread the message. Trade unions organized strikes, and students marched in the streets. For the first time, colonial powers were on the defensive. The world was changing, and Africa was ready to claim its place. The Pan-African Congresses lit a fire that could not be put out. Across Africa and the Caribbean, young leaders returned home with new ideas and sharper vision. Men like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, and Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria carried the spirit of Manchester into the struggles that would soon shake the empire. The Congresses had not freed nations overnight, but they had created a blueprint. They gave colonized people the language of freedom, the courage to rise, and the certainty that Africa's destiny was her own to claim.